Hello, everybody. I am Seraphy Gray, and I'm back with some more another Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling Book replay. This time, not against Dinosaur. This time against Infernoble Knights. This is an interesting game of rock paper scissors. First off, I finally had the foresight to pick rock. I will be or pick paper to counter rock. I will be going first because it's better than going second in this format. I'm still using Zoodiac Dogmatika because it's my favorite deck. This is a slightly older list. For one, depending on when you're watching this, Phantom Rage comes out in 3 days. But I'm trying to upload every Monday, so can't use it yet. So there is no Zeus in this. There is no Zeus. Zeus is going to... I don't think it's going to make Zoodiac broken, because the OCG is such a different metagame that I don't think we can really judge its success there in the context of here. Like, they don't have LP, they don't have Hulk, they don't have Dragoon. But it's very good. So I don't have that. The only other change to the list was I'm maining Nibiru instead of Droll and Lockbird. Not sure if that comes up, I forget. Anyways, my opponent's playing Infernoble Knights, the second premier combo deck of the format. It's Dragon Link but with Warriors. So I'm going first. And I'm going to lead off with Zoodiac Whiptail. This hand is not amazing, obviously. The 2 Nibiru going first always sucks. I think that was part of the reason I dropped Nibiru from my main deck. There's just... It's not a good feeling ever to draw 2 hand traps that actively hurt yourself if you have them when you've already gone first. So I'm just going to do the classic Zoodiac opener. Normal summon a Zoodiac. Go Borbo, go Hammerkong, go Trident. Still don't need to use Borbo or Hammerkong's effects. You will need to learn what Borbo does once Zeus comes out, but Zeus isn't out yet, so... Then I'll get to fire off Nadir Servant, send a monster from the extra deck to the graveyard, add 1 Dogmatika monster, or Fallen Albaz if you're crazy, from my deck or graveyard to my hand that is less attack than or equal to the sent monster. I'll send Titaniclad the Bastard Dragon. God. And I'm obviously going to grab Dogmatika Ecclesia, because why wouldn't you? I think there's something else I could have done here. I could have probably just gone straight for Maximus instead of summoning Ecclesia to go for Maximus. I do think there's pros and cons to both. Like, the biggest advantage to doing this, even though it's more susceptible to, like, any hand traps because it's an extra point if they, for some reason, don't get rid of Nadir, is then you have 2 Dogmatikas on board, which means your Fleur-de-Lis will be alive even if something happens to one of them for some reason. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to fire off Maximus, which makes both of us send 2 monsters from our extra deck to our graveyard. Given that my opponent is a combo player, I might actually hide hands. I don't know. And given my... No, there we go. Sorry about that. Given that my opponent's a combo player, it's not like he has any space in his extra deck. I sent another copy of Bastard Dragon and El Shadal App Cologne, which will now trigger to add a Shadal card from my deck or graveyard to my hand, and then I have to discard a card. So what do you know? Having 2 completely useless rocks in my hand sure came in handy now, didn't it? Yeah, so I'll do that. I'll get Shadal Schism, the fusion trap, and I will bin a rock, because why wouldn't I? And then I'll just set the trap in my turn. At end step, the second Bastard Dragon I will trigger, and I'll get to add a Fleur-de-Lis the Dogmatika Knighted from my deck to my hand. It's nice, just... It's effectively a summonable effect veiler. Like, a really big effect veiler. So, that might come in handy if my opponent is incapable of outing the Winda I'm about to drop. But we will see. As established, they're on Infernoble Knights, which... They kind of need their special summon. They can't really play without it. So my plan here is just on whatever they summon first, or whatever chainable action they take first, I just flip Schism and get a Winda on the field. And hope that it's enough. Hope they don't have, like, specifically God Phoenix Gearfried in their hand. Because that card is murder to deal with. It's so good. It's just such a good card in general. But no, my opponent's normal summon will be Infernoble Knight Ogier. I'm going to apologize in advance. I don't make a habit of reading Noble Knight cards. I wish they came with a TLDR. That would be really handy. So I might get some things wrong, but I will do my best. Hopefully this deck becomes like hit out of existence before I have to like learn what these cards do, besides being free summons, I guess. So my opponent's asking how much Trident is on. Currently 1200. I have the option to boost it to 2400 with the second Whiptail in my hand if I so choose. Whiptail's effect is during either player's turn, you can attach it to a Beast Warrior Xyz monster you control as material. But no, my opponent is not in a good spot. They have one special summon. They can't go for like their Isolde combo, so they have to find like they're out here is finding a way to get an equip spell in the graveyard, and then summoning God Phoenix, all without using their special summon. Yeah, and actually, I believe Ogier does that, and my opponent just elected to not for some reason. Oh well. Yeah, but my opponent will then equip Infernoble Knight Captain Roland from their graveyard to Ogier. What this card is, I know what this card does. If it's Synchro Summon, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, send one equipped spell card from your deck to your graveyard. This is relevant for the going first combo for Infernobles. Obviously not relevant here, it wasn't Synchro Summoned. And then, during the main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, is a quick effect. You can target one warrior monster you control, equip this card to that monster you control, as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. So that's relevant because, well, first off, you attach it to Charles, and then Charles's effect will trigger to pop a card on the opponent's turn. That's generally what it's used for, but my opponent has a bit of a funnier idea here. So currently Ogier is on 2000 attack. And then, what are they going to do next, I wonder? Because they... Alright, yeah, my opponent realizes that he forgot to resolve Ogier. It is unfortunate. I feel like, especially online, it's a lot easier to forget. But, oh no, I've definitely done some bad things like that too. I forget to resolve Ash Dragon a lot, but I'm getting better at it, so... My opponent... I do allow my opponent to resolve Ogier here, because... I don't know. I was probably just being nice. I don't really feel like calling a judge on a random Duelingbook game for no thing, so I just kind of let it happen. Then my opponent equips Divine Sword Phoenix Blade to Ogier, which puts it at 2300 attack. So amazingly, my opponent has actually found a way to out Ogier, and then I'm thinking, do I want to burn Trident here? And I say, no, I don't want to burn Trident here. I'll just run into battle and I'll pop. I'll let him go into the battle phase first, and then I will use Trident to pop Ogier, which now has a whopping 100 more attack than my Winda, and can run it over if I didn't happen to have good old Zoodiac Trident sitting right here. She's really coming in handy here. Like, usually she's just kind of a stepping stone into Megaclops, or eventually, like, outclassed by Zeus in 3 days, but... for now. Alright, so my opponent's still thinking. I'm not sure what's in their hand, and I don't want to turn on Show Hands again to look. So we will have to wait and see. Alright, my opponent will equip Infernoble Arms Durandal to something. Yeah, I had to read this card. I'll read it out right now. Again, I really wish the Noble Knight cards came with the TLDR, because, oh my god. Like, there's so many of them. Most of them suck. And they're all really long. When this card is equipped to a monster, you can add one level 5 or lower Fire Warrior monster from your deck to your hand, then destroy this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is sent to the graveyard, you can target one level 5 or lower Fire Warrior monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except warrior monsters. You can only use one Infernoble Arms Durandal effect per turn, and only once that turn. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what my opponent is planning here with this. I mean, it adds something. It's going to add, I believe, the Super Quant, or no, that comes later. Renaud. Infernoble Knight Renaud from deck to hand, which my opponent can special now if they're so inclined. But no, they're just using Durandal to get Renaud. They can special if they want. I'm not sure if it'll help them. But my opponent is going to attempt to beat over Winda with Infernoble Knight Ogier powered up by 2 equipped spells, and we just can't let that happen, I'm sorry. I decide just to pop specifically Captain Roland. I could have done anything. Like, all 3 of these had the same outcome, because now it's at a lower attack value than Ogier. I think honestly, I just hadn't bothered to read Ogier and wasn't sure if if this card is destroyed by card effect, because look at it. Look at how much text is on it. This entire video is just going to be me complaining about how long the Noble Knight cards are. Alright, so I've still got Winda. My opponent has nothing. They cannot even special summon that Renaud they went out of their way to get because it requires a Fire Warrior monster on your field, which they now don't have. Well, now they do, but that was their one special summon. There's the Super Quantum. So for turn, I'll draw Triple Tactics, which is, I mean, kind of basically a dead card. At this point, I have game. I just have to summon the Fleur-de-Lis and attach Whiptail to Trident, and I've just got enough damage. So yeah, Winda, stealing games. It turns out this card's just really good when you can drop it on your opponent's turn. Especially now that the way to do that is searchable. And it doesn't require you to actually field Shaddoll monsters. Don't you just love unintended interactions? So yeah, I'll attack Whiptail, boosting my Zoodiac Trident up to 2400 attack. Then I'll summon Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis, the Knighted. She will activate in the damage step, give all my Dogmatikas an extra 500 attack, and this is very much the end of the game. My opponent will realize this and concede momentarily. Just actually lets me get an attack with Ecclesia specifically. And yeah, this is the end of the game. I just don't think my opponent realizes that yet. Like, sometimes you just know when you're dead, but when it's a lot of, like, low to mid attack monsters, there's always just that, wait, do I live this? But no, that was 4 monsters with, like, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 24. So, siding in, I believe I took out the Ash Blossoms for Dark Ruler no more. I think. This is a slightly older game, I didn't write it down, my bad, but I want to say that's the play because Ash is just not particularly good against, like, Dragon Link and Infernoble because you just have to stop them. And Ash, like, it's annoying, but they can play around it. But I drew nothing anyways, so. Now we get to see the Infernoble Knight combo. So my opponent's going to lead off with Neo Space Connector. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon one Neo-Spacian monster or Neos from your hand or deck in defense position. It's the only relevant effect. They will activate the effect of Neo-Spacian Aqua Dolphin. Discard a card. You can look at your opponent's hand and choose one monster. Then if you control a monster with the attack greater than or equal to the attack of the chosen card, destroy the chosen card. And if you do, burn your opponent for 500 or take 500 if you fail. Yeah, it's hand trap insurance. It's nice out stuff like Droll and Lockbird, all the Ghost Girls. Not Gamma, though, thankfully. And in this case, Zoodiac Rapier, robbing me of a good place starter. Now he knows I don't have hand traps, so I think at this point I just went to, like, get a drink or something. Anyways, my opponent's going to summon Isolde, use its first effect to add a warrior monster from your deck to hand. And then they're going to send Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade, and a Smoke Grenade of the Thief to the graveyard to special summon Secret 6 Samurai Genba. Yeah, you're never firing off this effects. It's just a level 2 Fire Warrior tuner, and therefore just works with the level math thanks to Linkross. Which we'll see momentarily, because Linkross will summon itself with Isolde. Then special summon 2 level 1 tokens, because that was Isolde's link rating. My opponent will synchro off the Genba and one of the tokens for Martial Metal Marcher, who on synchro summon lets you special summon a tuner from your graveyard in defense position. My opponent will do that, use the Genba and the other token to make Tatsunoko, which then lets you special summon, Tatsunoko. This is a fun interaction. I don't know, this is a neat little thing. If this synchro summon monster would be used as a synchro material, one monster in your hand can be used as one of the other monster's materials. It's also the smallest towers ever printed. So my opponent used it with Super Quantum Red Layer. They can do this because you add Super Quantum Red Layer from your deck to your hand with Isolde. And I don't know, that's just really cool to me. I don't know why. So my opponent will synchro that off for Borreload Savage Dragon. Most people should know what this card does, but just in case, if this card is synchro summoned, you can equip one link monster from your graveyard to this card, and if you do, place Boral counters on this card equal to that link monster's link rating. This card gains attack equal to half the attack of the monster equipped to it by its effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can remove one Boral counter from this card, negate the activation. You can only use this effect to Borreload Savage Dragon once per turn. So yeah, it's a completely generic Omni Negate. It doesn't destroy, but that's like literally the only fault of the card. It can also get freaking huge. Like, even just with a Solda, and it's, what is it, like 1600 attack? Yeah, that's still a 3800 attack Omni Negate. And more importantly, at this stage in the combo, if I was saving a hand trap for, I don't know, what could I possibly have not hand trapped yet? But if there was like a Nibiru I was somehow saving because I thought not to fire it off here, guess who can't use it now? So yeah, they will equip the Isolde, and then they will use Link Cross on the Martial Meadow Marcher to go into everyone's favorite card, Crystron Halqifibrax. God, I cannot wait for this card to get banned. If this card is Link Summon, you can special summon a level 3 or lower tuner from your hand or deck in defense position, but it cannot activate effects this turn. That might as well be the only effect on this card, and we would never notice. Like, ever. Like, I guess occasionally people run Desert Locusts to trigger its second effect, which you can read there. God, I'm so sick of this card. I cannot believe we've had almost a year of Crystron Halqifibrax, or Needle Fiber, or whatever you want to call it, doing this. So they're going to get Deskbot 001, because this entire deck is just a smorgasbord of all the cards that probably shouldn't have been printed. So then they're going to go use Halq and the Deskbot, I believe. Yeah, they didn't do it here, but what they did is they used Halq and Deskbot 001 because it is a machine to make Auroradon. Because Halqifibrax's link rating is 2, you only need one additional machine because it says 2+. However, Auroradon, when it's link summon, it special summons 3 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens, which are level 3 wind tokens, to your side of the field, at which point Deskbot 001 would trigger its own effect. If 2 or more special summoned, 2 or more machine monsters are special summoned at the same time while it's in your graveyard, you can special summon it. They're not cheating, it just looks awkward. So then they're going to use 001, which is level 1, and the 2 of the level 3 tokens to get Power Tool Dragon. They're going to use its effect. You can reveal 3 equipped spell cards from your deck. Your opponent randomly adds one of them to your hand. Basically, this means you play 3 DDR in your deck. And it's basically just a functional equip searcher for anything that's not currently limited, or semi, I guess, but when's that happening? So they'll do that, they'll get a DDR, then they'll activate Auroradon's second effect, which, once per turn, you can tribute up to 3 monsters, then apply one of these effects based on the number tributed. 1, you can destroy 1 card on the field. 2, special summon 1 Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your deck. 3, add 1 trap from your graveyard to your hand. The second one's the most important one. It's the one they're doing here to get, I want to say, Coltwing. We'll find out in a second. Yep, Coltwing. What does Coltwing do? This is another archetype I wish I had a TLDR. When it's special summon, you can special summon 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens, which are Wind Machine level 3 tokens. And you have to control another Mecha Phantom piece, like Auroradon. Yes, this card's level is also increased by the total levels of all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control. That might come up. It's probably just Link. Coltwing's probably just Link fodder. And it also specials back the Deskbot, so... Yeah, I wonder if they're just going to ban every single Mecha Phantom Beast before they ban Needle Fiber. So yeah, here come 2 more tokens, which activates the Deskbot 001, which the Deskbot 001 can now make with 1 token. It can make... Let's see. Herald of the Arclight. So now any of my cards sent from hand or deck to graveyard are banished. Same goes for his. And it's also an Omni Negate, so now I really cannot use that Nibiru I would have already fired off. And then they're going to activate the effect of the Plague Spreader Zombie they pitched for whatever it was, Aqua Dolphin earlier. If it's in your graveyard, you can place 1 card from you can put a card from your hand on top of your deck, special summon it, banish it when it leaves the field. It's not once per turn, which means if you have a card like DDR, you can just go for it. Then my opponent will special summon Captain Roland. Like I said, his first effect is now actually relevant. And because Captain Roland is a tuner, you can tune Roland and the Colt Wing, which is now level 4 because there's no tokens on the field, to make the one and only, the thing that makes this deck worth running over Dragon Link, Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles. I'm going to read this before my opponent keeps playing. Mercifully, my opponent was a very fast player. This is a long combo, so thank God. What? It is a level 9 Fire Warrior Synchro type monster with 3,000 attack and 200 defense, which means you can activate Rekindling on it. I love that even in 2020, they're still printing out fire monsters with 200 defense, just because of Rekindling. If an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster on the field, even during the damage step, you can destroy one card on the field. Like I said last game, Captain Roland can, during either player's turn, equip itself to, in this case, Charles, which will activate Charles's effect. During the end phase, you can equip one spell from your hand or graveyard to this card, or equip spell, I mean. Then you can equip one Fire Warrior monster from your deck to this card as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. This is relevant for a few reasons. First off, most obviously, it activates its effect to destroy a card. It also just puts an equip spell on the board for something like God Phoenix Gearfried, and it gives it more attack, I guess, if you want to beat over Dragoon that somehow has not activated its effect during all of this. But I don't know, really it's just the popping that's relevant, so let's see how. Alright, then my opponent is going to banish 2 warrior-type monsters from the graveyard to get back Divine Sword Phoenix Blade that was sent off of Isolde like 30 minutes ago, god. And now they have free cost for DDR. Discard a card, then target one of your banished monsters, special summon in an attack position, and equip it with this card. If the card leaves the field, destroy the monster. So they get back Aqua Dolphin, which is not a hard once per turn, by the way. And because my opponent has seen my hand and seen the Aqua Dolphin, like with the earlier Aqua Dolphin, they know they have something bigger than my Ecclesia. So they're going to activate Phoenix Blade again for free discard fodder. And then they're just going to pick which Ecclesia they want, I guess. I don't know. Maybe one of them looked at him funny or something. And it's still not done yet. There is more combo to be had. This is not the end. Yeah, this is the main strength. They're going to go for the one on the right. I guess that one was the mean one. I don't know. This is the main strength of Infernoble over Dragon Link. Is it just rips cards out of your opponent's hand. Like, it sets up some negates too, obviously not as impressive as Dragon Link, and yes, it is banished because of Herald. Thank you, opponent. But when you're starting with like 2 to 3 cards left in your hand, it doesn't make that much of a difference. So then they'll activate Roland, accidentally banish a card instead of looking in their deck. So they will activate Roland to get God Phoenix Gearfried. So I've got to deal with that if I make it through this turn. That this should be banished, but yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Spoilers. I'm not winning this game, and Durandal getting banished isn't going to matter. Charles is going to trigger, add Ogier from their deck as an equip, and then Smoke Grenade of the Thief. This will trigger Charles's effect, infuriatingly, which lets them pop Smoke Grenade of the Thief and remove the other Ecclesia from my hand. This sucks. This really sucks. Like, I can't even sugarcoat it. This is just not good. I draw Thoroughblade for turn. So, yeah, there's no way I can win. I do try to see if I can activate triple tactics, but yeah, so first I activate Nadir Servant. That will obviously be negated because my opponent is not stupid. And they have a negate to spare. I have 3 cards in my hand. They know one of them is triple, but they have a negate for that. So, like, this Thoroughblade would have to literally win me the game. Yeah, so decides to negate with Savage Dragon. That's fine. Then I want to say, like, there's 2 things I could do. I could triple and try and force the Herald. Or I could normal summon Thoroughblade and try and beat over it. I'm going to triple and see if I can force out the Herald. And then this one Thoroughblade, I would have to, like, summon it, make it to Dryden, pop Charles, and then go for Aqua Dolphin, and then try not to lose to God Phoenix on my next turn. Yeah, I want to draw 2, but my opponent says no. I summon Thoroughblade, and here's Here's where it gets mean. I'm not aware of this effect. I didn't bother reading Roland while this game was playing. So they can chain Roland from the graveyard, equip it to Charles, and because it's an equip card, Charles will destroy my poor Zoodiac Thoroughblade that really didn't have a chance in this world. And that's how you wipe your opponent's entire hand and field turn 1. That was... God, was that 20 minutes? I don't know. I'll have to look. So we're on to game 3. None of these games have functionally lasted more than a turn. But, so here, I think I sided out Nibiru here for... I don't get to activate it, so I'm just going to say it. Dimensional Barrier. One of my favorite side decks cards this format. Like, it shuts down Dragoon-based decks. It shuts down Noble Knights, but you don't really want to use it when you're going first. Or not going first, when you're going second. So I keep it in my side deck. Because that way, I know if I'm up against a deck where it works, I'll throw it in. And hope I draw it, because if I draw it, it just wins me the game. I do have to hard draw it, though, which is kind of unfortunate. But we will see. We will see what happens. I will obviously be going first, because you guys just saw that. I can't beat that going second. Doesn't even matter if I have Dark Ruler, because they can just smoke grenade it. So, yeah, I'm going first, and I drew Broken. I drew actually Broken. I have a way to get to Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops, which is really good against this deck, because it doesn't play... It just doesn't play Spell and Trap removal. So I'll activate Tenki here. I'm going to get probably Thoroughblade, because I'm greedy and I want to draw a card. I really just wanted to hit Dimensional Barrier. Although... Yeah, like, I guess at this point, Thoroughblade and Rack Pure are functionally the same with Ram Ram in hand, but Thoroughblade draws you a card. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. This is the same combo that I've done before in the Dinosaur one, and I'll probably continue to do until the end of time. Yeah, pitch Ram Ram. I draw a card. It's Ash Blossom, which I did keep in. I feel like that was an... I mean, I guess it makes sense going first. But, like, I could have put in Droll. I could have been Token Collector. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know what Ash is doing here. It's not very good against Noble Knights. Then, yep, I will activate Chakanine's effect, detach the material to special summon Zoodiac Ram Ram from the graveyard. Since it was sent there by Thoroughblade, I'll go into Trident, use its effect to destroy the Ram Ram, and then use Ram Ram's other effect. Well, the only relevant one, really. It's got 2, but this is the only decent one. To Reborn Chakanine, which, again, it gets around the fact that monsters special summoned by Chakanine cannot be used as Xyz material for the rest of the turn. Ram Ram has no such restrictions, so I am free to just keep going. And more importantly, it also lets me use Chakanine's effect again, which is integral to the combo. So yeah, I'm going to activate Tiger Mortar here, detach Trident, attach Ram Ram to it. Yeah, this is the basic combo that every Zoodiac player should be able to do in their sleep. So, to activate Chakanine, I should be putting these in defense mode, honestly, but it doesn't matter, because my opponent has nothing. Get Trident, and now I make the train. Yeah, it's a good card. Like, they can't beat over it. They don't play Xyz monsters. So they can't destroy it in battle. They can't get around it with God Phoenix. They really don't have a clear out to it. So I'm feeling really good about myself at this point. And just to top it off and make it even harder to get rid of, I have Maximus. So I'll banish Tiger Mortar because it's the least valuable of these 3. For Maximus, activate its effect. Both of us send 2 cards from the extra deck to the graveyard. I will send Bastard Dragon and App Cologne as per usual. Now, this is actually kind of an interesting hand to have to pitch with App Cologne. The one downside of all your cards being like interaction or play starters is you don't have anything you can just discard with App Cologne's effect and get value off of it. I feel like the Whiptail or the Ash would be the smartest choice here. Whiptail gives me like some footing and just a general body if I draw a Pot of Avarice or something and I don't want to use Megaclops to bring back Trident. It also just lets me get other things for the Trident, but I do think it is the correct pitch here. Because Ash, it can, like, annoy them somewhat. It stops, like, Super Quantum, I guess. Or from Super Quantum from being added to hand. Anyways, that's what I meant. I'm sorry, it's late. Then I'm going to set Called by the Grave and Schism, activate Bastard Dragon to get myself a Fleur-de-Lis, gonna add it to hand, and wish my opponent good luck. I've got a special summon Floodgate coming out. I have Ash Blossom. I can negate something in the graveyard, and I've got an effect veiler. So I'm feeling pretty fine, and that's not even counting the pseudo towers they have to out. So first, they're gonna activate Omega's effect. This is quite smart. It's graveyard effect specifically. You can target, or no, there it is. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one other card in the graveyard, either or, and then shuffle them both into the deck. That would get rid of Omega and App Cologne here, which would prevent Winda from hitting the field. But unfortunately for my opponent, I can just chain Schism. And now that it's not in the graveyard, nothing happens. So yeah, I will get to special summon El Shaddai Winda, and now my opponent has two things that absolutely cannot stay on the field, and they have to figure out a way to out both with one special summon. Again, God Phoenix would take care of Winda, but God Phoenix is not going to take care of the train. This is why you always play an Xyz monster, guys. This is clearly why, for this deck that's like maybe the 7th or 8th best deck without Zeus. And then it'll become like the 5th best deck, maybe. It's not going to be the best, unfortunately. Like, the format's just too fast, but yeah. They're going to Rhoda here. I think I Ash? I want to say Ash. Yeah, I Ash. That's cool. So what does my opponent have to out this? What are they going to do? Are they going to try and ram into Window with a bunch of equip cards? That would actually work this time, because I don't have Trident to destroy it. But the question is, do they have that in their hand? So they're going to get Connector. I just dropped Fleur-de-Lis for some reason. I think I just got greedy here. Like, ultimately, I probably should have saved it. Aqua Dolphin was not going to do anything. But oh well, live and learn. It was definitely a bad call there. I literally just got greedy. Although, I don't know, like, greed is not the worst thing in situations where you're so far ahead, but yeah, that was bad. I should be defending it. So my opponent's thinking, I want to see what's in his hand, actually. Because it can't be good. I'm going to summon Fire Flint Lady and pass the turn. Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. I draw infinite impermanence just to, like, remove any hope of winning the game, basically. I guess I think in standby for a bit for some reason. Oh, I was probably just waiting for his text. There really ain't a whole lot I can do until I draw Imperm or something. Yeah, like, maybe there's an equip spell with some hidden text on it. The Lore of Noble Knights that's just like, when this card is destroyed, destroy one monster on the field. Because that would get out of it. Megaclops I called a Pseudo Towers because it is not immune to spell and trap effects. And then, yeah, I'm going to activate Megaclops' other effect. Lets me target one monster on their field and one Xyz monster in my graveyard. Special summon the Xyz monster, then attach their monster to it as material. But then all battle damage they take is halved. So I'm not OTKing them. But, like, I'm so far ahead. Like, even if they Imperm Winda, they still have to deal with Megaclops. I've got an Imperm. I now have a Trident Pop available. So yeah, there really just isn't much my opponent can do. Gonna attack with Winda over the connector. He will take damage here, but it doesn't matter. He's dead. Not this turn, because it's like, what, 700? Yeah, I have to remind him that everyone falls for this. Nobody bothers to read this card because only one deck plays it. So, yeah. There's a couple of times I've had people just, like, attempt to walk over it with access code, and then they read the card and concede. So, yeah. Yeah, eats 2k there. This should be 1500. And then Maximus should be 1000. So, not dead. Can only take one more turn of that. And they have to figure out how to out Winda and Megaclops in the same turn. So, yeah, this is game. It's kind of unfortunate that all these games were basically just decided by who went first, because neither of us drew hand traps going second, so... But you know what? That is Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2020 for you. If there's, like, any top decks red reboot now. That is unfortunate. That would have cleanly outed Winda. But nope. So yeah, there's a taste of Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2020 for you. Whoever went first effectively won the game on the first turn, and there wasn't much the opponent could do about it. Oh well, next week we're gonna get Zeus. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna summon Borbo a lot. It's gonna be fun. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more content, you can always subscribe. I upload every Monday. And have a good day or night, everyone. Bye.